Hey, friends, welcome to another episode of Live Boldly with Sarah. Yes, this is me sounding raspy. I have that nice, post flu sexy voice going on right now. I am not going to be like Phoebe, who goes around. Remember Phoebe from Friends when she went around and she licked all the coffee mugs because she loved this raspy voice that she had? Yeah, and that was like the worst 3 days of flu that I have had in a very long time. So take care of yourself out there, everyone. There's some stuff going around. Today, I want to bring to you a really good episode. My advice. This is my advice from me to you, my heart to yours, for those of you in the dating scene. Oh yes, let's talk. Let's talk dating. I have to say, it's very funny as a mom for those single parents out there. It's very funny when you're a single parent and you're in the dating scene and your kids are as well, right? I have three boys, 33, 23, and 18. And the fact that I'm in the dating scene at the same time as they are just sometimes it kind of freaks me out. I'm like, how they handle the dating scene and what happens within their dates versus what happens within my dating scene, my life. It is so funny to me because there's some reflection, right? There's some similarities. There's a lot where I've learned from them where they're like, "Mom, come on, don't accept that." Or like he's a douche, like stop, don't date that person or whatever it is. These are the things that I've heard throughout my 11 years of single life. And it's just funny, like how you can learn from those people, whatever age it is that where they are dating as well. It's just like there's so much to be said about relationships and how we also navigate and learn through them. Now, here are my tips. This is my advice for those of you that are going through the dating scene. I'm not going to give anything up right now. All I'm going to say is that I am happier than I've ever been, and I intend on staying here and only moving forward. So, without giving anything out of that one, I have learned a lot. I've learned a lot navigating through some very toxic, difficult relationships. And I do believe that we are handed the same lesson over and over and over again until we choose to learn differently. We choose differently. We shift those patterns up and we step into that best version of self so that we can then attract that best version of that person, that other partner that we want in our life. And I promise you, like I promise you, like I promise you, you deserve the best. And the best is out there waiting for you as well. It took me a long time and some pretty really difficult relationships for me to realize that that version of whom I want to be, of who I'm stepping into, that version, that equal version is out there. And they're doing the same thing. They're waiting for you. They're working through their stuff. They're attracting you as just as you are attracting them. That said, you have to do the work, my friends. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you are worthy of that most incredible relationship in your life, too. And I promise you that you are. It's hard stepping into that space sometimes when we have been failed so many times, right? Where we have been hurt, we have felt that sadness, we have felt that neglect, that regret. And it can be hard to come out of those relationships believing that there is something even more amazing on the other side. And I promise you there is. So here's the thing. I was lying in bed last night and I was thinking about what I wanted to share with all of you, this advice that I wanted to give you. And this is what happens when I am in my subconscious, unconscious state. I wake up out of my dreams sometimes and I'm like, ooh, that is like a great thing to be speaking on. And I grab my phone and I write it down in my phone and I wake up the next morning and I'm like reading it going, oh, wow, that was some pretty good stuff. So I want to share with you 4 really important things to remember when you are stepping into this dating scene and when you are working through those own patterns and wanting to step into that next relationship, one that is just incredible. The first thing that I have to say is stop chasing. Stop chasing. Do you remember there's that movie? There's a movie, and I can't remember, My Best Friend's Wedding. That's what it was. And Julia Roberts is in Chicago, and she's in this ice cream truck or something, and she's chasing down the road this other person. And it's who somebody that she was interested in, and then he went off and got married, right? And I can't remember the guy who was in the back. I can hear his name, but anyhow, her friend was chasing her and saying, let me ask you, or not chasing her. He was talking to her on the phone. That's what it was. She had called him, and they were best friends, and they were talking on the phone. And Julia Roberts was like chasing who she who ultimately ended up getting married, one of her friends, and her other friend that she was talking on the phone to. He said, "You are chasing them, but who is chasing you?" And I remember in that line, it was something to that effect. And that line struck me so much because I remember thinking to myself, if we are constantly chasing those things in our life, those people, who's chasing us? Because if you turn around and look, it's not there, right? We are chasing so often the things that ultimately we want to be attracting in our life because they end up being the wrong things that we are chasing. They're not even the right things. And so if we are constantly chasing what we think we need, right, or what we think we want, or we believe that that's what it is that we want in our life, we're not allowing ourselves to attract the things that the universe actually is there to deliver to us because we're so busy freaking running to what we don't actually even want. You have to allow yourself to sit, to be, to stop chasing those things in life so that we can actually allow ourselves to get clarity and bring in the things that our heart desires. So that was one of the most important things that I have learned in all of this, because here's the other thing. So often we are chasing and we're wanting that other person to stop we're wanting that other person to give us something when in reality they can't, they're not able to. The person that is meant to come into your life will be able to see you, be with you. They're not going to chase, they're going to be there, right? Just like you're going to be there for them. And they're going to be able to deliver to you what it is that you deserve. So stop chasing. The second thing is when you see something, say something. Now, this is important. I have believed in this saying my entire life. When I see something that is happening around me that I do not agree with, if it is, I'll never forget one time I saw this dad that was literally, I kid you not, abusing his child in the middle of the food court. And I stood up and I said something, right? And nobody else did. I was like, what? How is it that I'm the only one saying something here to this poor child that's being abused? When you see something, say something. This is where it turns, though. When you see a red flag in your relationship, say something to yourself. Stop and look in the mirror and say something to yourself. Don't ignore it. Just like you wouldn't ignore watching somebody else around you get hurt or abused or taken advantage of, right? I would hope that you wouldn't. Though I got to say, by how many people in this world do that, it starts to make me wonder how many people do that in their own life within themselves as well. So when you see something, say something. Red flag is a red flag is a red flag. Pink flag is a red flag, in my opinion, sometimes, right? Like if it's a pink flag, stop and take a pause and ask yourself, is this person truly worthy of my relationship, of me, right? So when you see something, say something. The third thing is don't accept in your life what you wouldn't want your children to accept in their own. Oh, okay. So this goes back to, especially if you're a parent, single parent, and you're dating and your kids are dating too. I want what is best for my kids. And I'll tell you something, it took, I will be very honest here, a long time for me to get to that place of it ain't going to happen. Because, I think that we want what's best for our kids, and we don't always put ourselves in that same space because we put them first. You have to put yourself first in those healthy relationships. You have to be able to accept the most healthy relationship within your own life so that you can also then encourage, model, be that model for your children to accept the same in theirs. And so, my boys have said that to me many times. They're like, we just want you happy, and don't accept somebody that's not nice, mom. Like, if they're not going to treat you with the same respect that you give to other people, then don't accept that in your life. And I had to hear that a few times because there were times that I accepted that in my own life. And I got to tell you, never again. Never again. Never again. And again, I am extremely happy right now. So y'all can go with that one right there. Okay, so the fourth thing is, this is a really important one. Breadcrumbs are for birds. Breadcrumbs are for birds, and you are not a bird. You are an incredibly amazing, beautiful human being who deserves not breadcrumbs, but like the most incredible loaf of bread that has been baked in Italy and the finest, most amazing restaurant, right? Or bakery ready for your most amazing, luxurious, incredible lunch, dinner, whatever you want. My point being is, do not accept the little pieces when you deserve the full, incredible dinner, right? And I think so often we accept the breadcrumbs because we just want something. We just want anything. Like our heart is filled, like it just craves intimacy. It craves connection, human connection, because that's what we all want in life, right? Is human connection. We all want love. We all want intimacy. We want to be touched. And I think sometimes, especially for some of us who haven't had that for so long, we'll accept hardly anything because it fills just a portion of our cup. And in reality, you don't want that. You want that. You want it all. Like you deserve it all. You deserve to have that entire cup filled. And so if somebody is treating you poorly, if they're ghosting you, if they are not showing up, but in small bits and pieces here and there, if they are not working on themselves, if they are not allowing themselves to be the best version of themselves and wanting that, not only for themselves, but also for you, enough. Walk away, because there are other people in this world that they do want the same as you. They want the full effect, right? They want it all. And I promise you that those people are there. And so you have to stop chasing them though, because you have to stop chasing the things, right? Like you have to stop chasing and sometimes we do, sometimes we chase breadcrumbs. I've done it. And in reality, like put that energy back into you, right? Love yourself first. When you can get to that place of truly doing the work and loving yourself first, you will attract that person that loves themselves enough as well, where they won't accept less either. And when you put two wholes together, oh, holy hell, it is like magic. It is like the most incredible firework display that you could ever imagine. So number one, stop chasing. Number two, when you see something, say something. Number three, like to yourself, right? When you see that red flag, take notice of it. Number three, don't accept in your life what you wouldn't want your children to accept in their own. And number three, breadcrumbs are for birds. So stop. I wrote in here last night. This is what I wrote in here last night when I was so tired and half asleep. So I haven't even read it since then, but let's see. We so badly want to feel loved that we will forsake who we are in a relationship in order to try and make any relationship work. Ooh, that was good, Sara. But then you are not actually being you. You are someone else. And the healthy, whole parts of you are never allowed to be seen, held, and exposed to what true love is. We never create that whole relationship because it's forced. In other words, we can never create that whole relationship because it's forced, because it's not really you who's showing up. So show up as you, love yourself first, understand how worthy that you are of an incredible relationship in your life. And I promise you, when you allow yourself to attract that within the universe, write it down what it is that you want. And when you allow yourself to just be in that, to attract that in your life, it will come in. It will come in. Have awareness, pay attention, right? You still have to do the work, pay attention along the way. And I promise you, it is there waiting for you too. With that, I want to thank you for being here. Please do us a favor, push this podcast out into the world. Those are my 4 pieces of advice for you. And I would love for you to share it with your friends, your loved ones as well, so that they can also have healthy relationships within their life too. Go rate, review, subscribe if you have not done that yet. Subscribe, rate, and review to this podcast. Put it into your social media, please, so that we can also, and tag me, so that I can also tag it within my stories, within my posts, and let's get this rippling into the world, because you matter, and so does everyone else in this world too. I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.